CGI offers strategic IT and business consulting services globally, focusing on ways to improve business agility and manage change. They help insurers prepare for the future of insurance, building new digital business models, better able to adapt to the ever-increasing pace of change in the industry. They found that at the moment up to 40% of underwriters' time is spent on administrative and low-value tasks. Find out how CGI can help underwriters to write more of the right business, because what would you do if you could get that time back? Please welcome CGI.
My name's Darren Rudd. I'm the Head of Business and Technology Consulting for the insurance sector within CGI in the UK. My job basically is to work with our clients to solve problems. And one of those areas that we've been particularly focused on is how do we help underwriters write more of the right business? Now, when people look at solving problems, they often jump straight to digital transformation, looking for the big grand win. We've taken a slightly different perspective on this, and this is based on probably the last 30 years of my industry experience and working with people, and to do with some of the conversations that we've had over the recent years on this topic and this problem. I was talking to a CEO of a large insurance organisation a while back now, and we'd come in to talk about all the great things that we can do with advanced analytics, AI, IoT, and other technologies. And we had a great conversation, but she said, you know what, Darren, actually, I've got a bigger problem right now. One of the biggest challenges I've got is my teams have got too many emails, too much noise going on, and 90% of what we receive, we don't respond to. And of the 10% that we do actually reply to, I'm not convinced that that 10% is the right 10%. Now that figure blew me away. That's quite a scary figure. There aren't many industries out there at the moment that don't respond to 90% of the business that they're offered. So we took it away and we did more research, and we went out and spoke to more underwriters because we like to work collaboratively. What we found was increasing challenges from the organisation. McKinsey have mentioned that 40% of underwriters' time is spent on admin tasks. Now, when we spoke to the underwriters, I got a lot of wry grins in the room, because actually they were saying that figure is probably closer to 60 to 70% of their time is spent on not doing what they really love doing, which is underwriting. They had too many emails to do, and actually emails are a really bad way of working and managing things. They just couldn't prioritise. They also found that one of the biggest frustrations is I've got a 40-page document to read through, I get to the last page, and there's the piece of information that means the last 20 minutes I've spent reading that document didn't work. I can't write that piece of business, I'm going to have to decline it. I don't get that time back. So we thought, okay, let's look at this. There seems to be a clear problem here. Feels too obvious though. Let's look at the business case. So we've run the numbers. We've built through on that side of it. Again, when we've looked at the business case, my view here is that small incremental change will win out over big digital transformation programs because those values build up. So when we look at helping an underwriter do a little bit more, respond quicker, increase their conversion rates, spend more time actually understanding which bits of business they want to write first, prioritize that and increase the gross written premium that they can write by increasing the amount of premium they can actually bring through on a risk versus the time they've spent. Giving the underwriter back more time to think about what they're underwriting and reduce their loss ratios, all of that builds up to actually some big figures. If we took an example of a team of 5 underwriters writing a £15 million book of business, that comes in potentially between 3 and 5 million added to the top line. That's a huge difference. That's the equivalent of adding 2 to 3 underwriters to that team, not only saving just the recruitment effort, but actually housing them and managing them. It's a big change. So the question then I really had was, well, why aren't we doing more of that? Why aren't we? Clearly there's a benefits case, so why aren't we doing more of that change? And this is part of the way that we've approached things at CGI. We need to break it down into smaller chunks. No underwriter, and I'm married to one, so I can actually say this, wants to be transformed. They already have worked out quite efficient ways of working over the last few years. What they have, though, is frustrations with some of the systems and some of the ways of working. So how do we help them deal with those frustrations rather than trying to radically transform the way they work into a new way that we want them to work and think? So we've broken it down into smaller chunks, very, very focused on those areas that we need to improve and fix, and broken it down. So we work collaboratively with the underwriters in a flexible way. I've got email is where most of my business comes from, but I don't like Outlook. It's not working for me. It's difficult to run. Okay, so we'll give you something better to use than Outlook. Improve that area. I've got too many emails. I don't know what to work on first. No problems. We'll give you a system that can actually look into those emails, understand what's inside the risk that's being offered, and based on the rules that you've set, we'll prioritize that information for you to decide what you want to work on first. I'm spending too much time reading documents that I don't really need to be reading. Again, no problems at all. We can use additional technology and machine learning to look into those documents and highlight and bring up the information that you need to make that decision about whether that piece of business is something you want to write or not. But on the flip side of that, there's other things that underwriters want to stay with. Rating spreadsheets. Most of the underwriters in the commercial space, particularly in the London market, are still using spreadsheets. They don't want to lose those. Not a problem. To get this into the hands of the underwriters quickly, we'll work with you to use and reuse those spreadsheets already, but just give you more controls and efficiencies, so data can be passed in and outside of those documents. All of this really is designed as a way of delivering value to the underwriters quickly so that they can adapt and learn. When you go through a big digital transformation approach, you're asking the individual to try and work out what the world will look like in a year's time and give you all the understanding of their problems now. That's not how humans work. The way humans work is, I'll solve one problem, and then I understand and adapt the way I work, and my next problem, the next thing I'm going to come to, changes. So this is the way that we've sliced things up. Our underwriting workbench provides a collaborative way of working and a smaller set of components to build through that. And it's very flexible. We think underwriting is going to be human, and you're going to hear a lot about AI and generative AI over the next few days. But we really think this is about enhancing the way the underwriters work and working flexibly with them. And one of the things that we've done is the platform's built as a set of components. And I think one of the advantages of working as a systems integrator is, and I like to think about it as Lego bricks. I've got a big bucket of Lego bricks. I can bring those Lego bricks together to become a certain solution for that organization. But I'm also mindful that my customers have invested in their Lego bricks and their systems, some of which they will want to retain. So I can add their Lego bricks to mine. I've also, as this conference shows, got a great ecosystem of other suppliers and vendors out there that have great tools and tool sets. I want to bring their Lego bricks to the piece as well. So the whole platform is designed to be very collaborative. I think as well, as we've seen over the last year or so, the noise around the impact on things like ChatGPT and generative AI is going to have a huge change. Quite difficult to actually guess and second guess what's going to happen. You need to be able to be ready to swap those bricks out and move them. The vendor and partner you're working with today, who's leading edge, will be surpassed by another vendor in 3 to 6 months' time. So we've built the platform to be very effective. I still think the world is human. We should be thinking about the way to enhance AI, and I wouldn't be a great consultant if I wasn't mentioning AI at least once today, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the only one. If you'd like to come and talk to us a little bit more about our workbench or the other tools that we've got, we're at stand C18, just outside here. And I just really want to leave you with one final thought. If we could give you back 40% of your time in a day to underwrite, what would you do with that time? Thank you very much.